And good evening, everyone. Welcome to another exciting Saturday Night Winestream and another exciting episode of Drink with Rick. I'm Rick. And tonight, we're going to switch gears yet again. We are going to have another Pinot Noir tonight. It's been a while since we've done one, a little while. But we're going to bring it back and do one tonight. But this one is going to be one made with organic grapes. Allegedly, that's what it says on the label, organic grapes. And that's what we're going to try tonight. Also, we have some foods to pair it with. And I have some things to show you. One thing that my lovely wife, she did for the presentation tonight. It looks great, by the way. I really, really love it. And, we're going to pair it with this food that she's prepared for us tonight. Pair the wine with it, see how it goes with the food. And we're going to toast some national days. Also, one in particular. I think we have some food for that as well. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. One of my favorite foods. And we're going to talk about podcasting just a little bit and starting a podcast on a budget and why you don't need a lot of money to start it. We're also going to answer a question about that was presented by a friend of mine just before the show started about organic grapes and about wines made with organic grapes. So I want to bring that up, and I think it's going to be an interesting discussion. Well, if you're joining me tonight for the first time or for the 186th time, because this is the 186th, wow, 186th episode of the Winestream. How about that? Now, this is a stream of consciousness kind of show. I do have my show notes, and they're right here, as always. And I gave you the basic rundown of what we're going to do tonight. But really, this show could go off in all kinds of different directions. Because this show is not about me. I'm here to entertain you, regale you with stories and whatever, just for entertainment purposes. The show isn't really not about me. It's somewhat about the wine. It's a catalyst to get the conversation going. The show is really about you and me getting together on a Saturday night, forgetting about the troubles of the week, the troubles of the day, just sitting back, relaxing with our favorite libations, our favorite snacks, just spending some time together and just having a great time. That's all. And that's why we have the chats open in all these venues. You can chat with me live, of course, on our website at Drink with Rick. Well, Drink with Rick doesn't have a live chat there, but you can comment in the comment box down below the video that this is being shown on. We are live on our our Drink with Rick website page. You'll get a comment box if you click on tonight's post. For this show, you'll get a comment box. You can type in your comments. I will respond in kind. It won't be right away, but it will be later on, and I'll read it on a future episode of the show. But you can join me live in the chats. We are live on Facebook. The Facebook page is Drink with Rick. And on YouTube, the YouTube channel is, you just type in Drink with Rick, you'll find it. It's a long URL. Just type in Drink with Rick in the search. You will find it right away, and you'll find tonight's episode. And you can get in the chats and chat with me live right there. Also on Twitch. Twitch is twitch.tv/drinkwithrick and the number 1. Drink with Rick 1, all one word. On Twitter, it's at Drink with Rick. That's pretty easy. And on Odyssey is Drink with Rick, at Drink with Rick :7, or the name of tonight's episode in the URL, which is Oko Pinot Noir. So you can find me in all those venues and chat with me live there. Also, the podcast goes out at Monday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern. If you can't watch now or watch later, you can listen later on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Deezer Radio, Stitcher Radio, Blueberry.com, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and podcastindex.org. and also by email. If you go to drinkwithrick.com, click on the subscribe page and click on the blue button that says by email, put your email address in the little box, send it off to me, and you will get the latest episode of Drink with Rick as soon as it drops, and no salesman will call. It's just for the podcast. Of course, you can unsubscribe at any time, but please don't. I mean, you'll miss out on all the fun. You can subscribe to me and follow me in all those different venues and Facebook and wherever else you can follow me here. YouTube, Odyssey, Twitter, Twitch. That's great. You can follow and subscribe in those places. And you can keep up with the latest episode. You'll get notifications as soon as the latest episode is about to come out. So you won't miss a single episode of the Saturday Night Wine Stream. You can be right there, front and center, right here with me, chatting live. By the way, let's check the chats right now and see who's in the chat. Now, it usually starts off pretty quietly, and people wander in after the first few minutes. I think everyone likes to wait until I start opening the wine before they get in there. They like to see me already drinking. And Kevin J. Ranks is in the chat on Twitch, and Kevin says, "Hey Rick, I got the care package you sent. Thank you very much. Love the swag." Well, that's great, Kevin. I'm glad you received it, and all in great condition, I hope. And hey, thanks for being a part of the show. And I really appreciate the kind words there. Kevin, stick around. We're going to have some fun tonight. And let's see what else we got going on Odyssey. I can't see much of the chats on Odyssey. There we go. I can see a little bit of it. Oh, it's down below. They changed some things a little bit with it, I think. So I've got to get used to it. The funny thing is about these venues is that it seems like every week I come in here, it's like something's changed on one of these platforms where I kind of have to get used to something new. I don't know, just me. Maybe I'm just getting to be an old curmudgeon. What can I say? And you kids, get off my lawn. See, I'm a little nicer about it. Okay. Anyway, so this is what we've got going on tonight. We got this now. This interesting. This wine has this is an umlaut. There's an umlaut above the O on the wine, so it's not going to be Oko. It's actually pronounced, as I understand it, Oko. It's pronounced Oko, like bleu, cordon bleu, Oko. So it's pronounced Oko. This is a French wine, a wine made with organic grapes. That's what it says on the label. It says Pinot Noir, and it says here the ecology, the interrelationships of organisms in the environment. That's on the lower left-hand side of that label. Product of France, 13% ABV, 13% alcohol by volume. And this is a 2021 vintage. It says, "Welcome to a balanced world." I'm not sure exactly what that means exactly. Now, on the back of the wine, this is interesting. We have Oko, it's Oko, not Oko, Oko, Pinot Noir, and made with organic grapes. And it says here, "The tree, a symbol of nature and life, provides the necessary oxygen for all things in the world to thrive. The interrelationships of organisms in the environment," that's what that means, ecology. Ecology, that's what it means. The interrelationships of organisms in the environment. Oko wines are made with a vision of premium quality and a balance with nature, as you enjoy aromas of raspberry and cherry layered with juicy strawberry and hints of licorice, oak, and tobacco. Know this was all achieved naturally. As the soft tannins linger, so will your appreciation for Oko. And at the bottom it does say certified organic by EcoCert France SAS. So there you go. That's raspberry and cherry with strawberry and licorice. I like licorice. I do like licorice. So well, this should be a very interesting tasting indeed. Now, I'm going to pull up, just a moment, I'm going to pull up a couple of bookmarks because I have some information on this wine that I had bookmarked before the show, and not too much. There's some interesting information on it, like where to buy it. I think there is one from, let me find the other one here. This is, cheapwinefinder.com. Okay. And there was one more site that actually spelled out what was actually in this wine. Yeah, I think I've got that site up. Okay, very good. So I'll relay that to you here in just a moment. Anyway, so how was your week, Kevin? I hope your week was well. I forgot to put this in the chat, by the way. The good evening thing in the chat. Don't mind that. That was a little late. I've been busy setting up for the stream. And let's check. Okay, everything's good right now. All right, we are live everywhere where we can be live right now. Just checking and make sure everything is copacetic here with the show. All right, we're good. All right. So let's get to the wine, the opening up of the wine. I think that's the first order of business, right? Of course. Unless there are any objections, let's go ahead. Now, this is the bottle. And I have my foil cutter here. Go ahead and cut the foil. All right, that came right off. Popped right off. There we go. I used a bit of force on that one, I think. Sometimes these foils come off, they're really difficult to get off, and sometimes come up, they just pop off real easily. Now, let's see, what else do I have? Oh, yes, my mechanical corkscrew, which is right here. Let me put this on a close-up here. There we go. Mechanical corkscrew to uncork, or as I like to say, decork the wine, because that's what I like to do. Whoa. Something popped off of my corkscrew, and I'm not sure where it goes. Oh, it goes down the bottom here. Oh, well, that's interesting. Well, look, I'll fix that later. I'll fix that later. Not for now. All right, the show must go on. All right, so next I have my aerator, my trusty aerator. I don't know if this had to be chilled or not beforehand. I did not chill it. There we go. And to hold the grape nectar, I have my trusty Galway genuine Irish crystal glass from Ireland, given to me by my employers at buytoway.com. So I'm going to pour just a little bit of wine in this glass. Oh, that looks very nice. Very healthy complexion. Fairly light and healthy. I like that. All right, we're going to, let me move my corkscrew, my decorker out of the way, and I'll make sure I have all the pieces together of it. A little piece popped off. I'm sure that's nothing major. I can probably fix that without too much trouble later. All right, so we have the wine poured. I have to use my trusty Drink with Rick, the official Drink with Rick coaster for the Saturday Night Wine Stream. I can tell you how you can get a pair of these free. By the way, we're going to be giving some of these away, along with some other prizes and things, in about 2 weeks, as we do our second annual Drink with Rick drinking game. Doesn't require you to drink, it requires me to drink. But you can drink along with Rick, why not? Okay, I'll give it a good swirl here. Nice healthy swirl. We're going to set it aside just a moment to let it breathe, open up just a little bit. And while it's doing that, let's learn a little bit more about this wine. So I hunted around online, found it in a few places mentioned, and one of the places I went to was this place called cheapwinefinder.com. Now, this is interesting because they do verify that it's sourced from certified organic vineyards in the Vendée DOC region of the Languedoc in eastern France. So, and apparently they are an eco wine company that specializes in organic wines. Now, I'm reading this from their website. It specializes in organic wines grown in various wine regions. This is the cheapwinefinder.com website. Now, They also offer a Pinot Grigio that comes from the Veneto region of Italy. Interesting. Now, what they say, looking on their website, because this information, if you look on the back here, this information was not on the back of the wine bottle. And in most cases, it's not. Sometimes they'll tell you exactly what is in the wine. In this case, I looked around, I just looked at it again, and it does not tell you the grapes. We're assuming that it's 100% Pinot Noir, but according to cheapwinefinder.com, it is not. According to them, well, this is the 2020 vintage. Now, what we're drinking is a 2021 vintage. What I have here is a 2020 vintage that they have on their site, and they say that it's 97% Pinot Noir and 3% Grenache. 97% Pinot, 3% Grenache. Now, I don't think this is across the board on all the on all the years, on all the vintages. This might be completely different. This might be 100% Pinot Noir for all I know. I don't know. But this is what they have for the 2020 vintage. So it's possible they're still using the same blend from the previous year, or maybe not. I don't know. For all I know, it could be 80% Pinot and 20% Grenache. I don't know. I have no idea. Now, they do say it sells for $9.99 at Trader Joe's. I will tell you that I looked across the web. A Wine Searcher has it in a number of places. I think for the Oko Organic Pinot Noir, Max's Beer, Wine, and Liquor on Park Avenue in New Jersey, in Freehold, New Jersey, $10.99. Corners Fine Wine and Spirits in Georgia, that's Peachtree Corners, $10.99. Let's see, where else? Save More Marketplace, that's in Wisconsin, in Minocqua, Wisconsin. Is that how you pronounce it, Minocqua? $11.99. I'm not from Wisconsin, I don't know. Tri-Famar Wines and Spirits in New York, that's in Ithaca, $11.99, and I'm not from New York either. Giorgio's Liquors in Billerica, that's in Massachusetts, Lowell, Massachusetts, $12.99. The one in Waltham, same price, $12.99. Cedarville Wine and Spirits in Massachusetts, that's in Plymouth, $13.99. So we're starting to get up there a little bit. Global Wine and Spirits in New York, that's in Amherst, New York, $13.99. Gomes Liquors, Massachusetts, and Fitchburg, Massachusetts, $14.99. So we're getting up there a little bit. Liquor Junction, that's also in Winchester, Massachusetts, $15.99. And Schaefer's in Skokie, Illinois, $23.95. And these are all excluding the sales tax. Wow. $23.99. I don't know. I'll tell you what I paid for it. This is what I paid for it right here. Because last week I lost a receipt for the wine last week. This week I have it right here. Trader Joe's. See, it says Trader Joe's. I paid for this 750 milliliter bottle of Oko Organic Pinot Noir, $9.99. $9.99. So there you go. Let's see if it's a $10 bottle of wine or a $9.98 bottle of wine. But what's a penny? Right? What's a penny? All right, let me check the chats. Before we taste the wine, let's check the chat, see what's going on in the chats tonight. And a little bit quiet right there on YouTube. We got folks watching everywhere, but please don't be afraid to speak up and say hi. Just tell me how you're doing. Tell me what you're drinking or what you're not drinking, what you like to be drinking. Would you like to see me drinking? And if I can afford a bottle of it, I'll see if I can buy one and drink it too. What's up is in the chat. What's up? And also Josh Wardo. Josh Wardo 77. And who else do we have here? And Kevin's here, of course. And Kevin says, week was good. A few Christmas parades, which were fun. You know, I've got a Christmas parade story for you. Wasn't so much fun for me, but well, I'm glad that was fun for you, Kevin. And let's see, Josh Wardo 77 says hello and right back at you. How you doing, Josh Wardo? I hope you're having a good evening, a great Saturday night, and stick around and drink with me, and we'll we'll talk to each other. We'll just chat with each other here in the chat. And what's up? It's great to see you also. What's up? I was not ignoring you. Trust me, I was not. What's up says, hey, Rick, can you post which wine you're going to try earlier in the day a week? Would love to drink a long one week. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked that question, actually. One of the reasons why I don't post it earlier, if you're watching on Twitch, sometimes I do post it a little bit earlier. Tonight, not so much because I was running a little bit late trying to get everything set up tonight. On Facebook, I usually gets posted when I post it to Instagram. And Instagram, yeah, the bottle of the wine and everything gets posted to Instagram. I don't know if you check it out on Instagram much, but Instagram, of course, we do have an Instagram, it's Drink with Rick. And on Instagram, sometimes I post about an hour to an hour and a half before the show. Sometimes, here's the thing, I like to post earlier than that, but if I post too early in the week, then a lot of folks don't get the heads up that I'm going to be doing it on the Saturday night, so they do it and then they forget about it, and like, okay, and they forget I'm going to be doing it on Saturday night, but they just saw it like on Monday or Tuesday. And if I do it, if I post it really early in the week, sometimes also I don't have the exact wine that I'm going to do ready for the show. In other words, sometimes at last minute the wines can switch. So I'll tell you what, though, what's up, I will try to do this. I'm going to give it a shot here. Now, I hadn't been doing it so early. I haven't been doing it like before Friday night or Saturday afternoon before, because of that reason, because I was worried people were going to forget about it. They just set it aside. Oh, yeah, I've got to remember. I've got to show up for Drink with Rick, and then later on forget. But I'm going to try this. I'm going to take you up on that, and I'm going to try posting it a lot earlier in the week. I will see if I can do it maybe on a maybe, I don't know if I can do it too early, but maybe on a Wednesday afternoon or a Wednesday evening. I'll see if I can have it ready by then. Sometimes I don't have the photos for these ready until Thursday night. I do, well, I'll get into that a little bit later. If you can remind me, I'll tell you how I do some of this pre-production during the week. You might find that interesting or boring, but remind me later on the show, and we'll see if we can do that. What's up says makes sense. Well, I'll see if I can. We'll try it. We'll try it for a couple of weeks and see what happens. Maybe you are right and I am totally wrong, which often happens. So you might be onto something there. So we'll give it a try. Okay, so we were going to taste your wine, right? Let's do that real quick so we can get on to the rest of the festivities. But because, wow, do we have festivities to get on with. All right, I did forget to mention Vivino. Yeah, that's right. Vivino has because I look at the ratings on Vivino for it. And Vivino for the 2020 vintage, they don't have anything for the 2021 vintage, but for the 2020 vintage, they give it a 4. Well, actually, it's across all the vintages that they have. 4.0 for the star ratings. That's 4 stars out of 5 based on all the vintages altogether. And they gave it a median price of $10.55. So that's not too far off from what I paid for it. There you go. They don't have a whole lot of. They've got some reviews on it, but I didn't really look at the review. They got a few here. I didn't really look at them. But let's go ahead and give this a bit of a taste, or let's give it a whiff first. Oh wow, yeah, that's very cherry. They did say there's a lot of cherry in there, and wow, I can smell the cherry. Cherry and a few spices in there that I can't really pick up with my nose at the moment. The cherry is very strong with this one. Let's give it a taste. Lots of red fruit. Yeah, cherry and strawberry. Fairly, I was thinking it might be a little on the bold side, but I find it kind of light to medium, kind of light to medium. I think it's yeah, they're kind of soft tannins. I agree with the label there. The tannins are a little on the soft side. They're there, medium tannin, but they're soft. And it's a dry wine. If you don't like dry wines, and you know my wife doesn't care for dry wines much, but I prefer dry wines over sweet wines, as I mentioned many times before. But this wine is medium bodied. Actually, it's a little kind of on the lighter side of the medium body here, and it kind of looks kind of lighter bodied, not too light, but it looks a little lighter bodied. But yeah, lots of cherry and strawberry. A nice little mix of strawberry. It is. The strawberry's standing out a little bit more now too, but it's cherry and strawberry, and a little bit of spice. Now, I'm not getting licorice right now. Let's see. Maybe a hint of it. It might need to open up a little more. Maybe I'll get the licorice a little on the oaky side, not much, kind of light on the oaky side. But it's pleasant to drink. It's a pleasant wine, and it tastes like it's well rounded out. I like it so far. It's pretty good. So it may pair well with the foods that we have here tonight, particularly the cheeses. I like it. Now, I love cherry. So this is an easy wine for me to like. And there are a lot of wines that are some stronger on the cherry than others. This one has a really interesting mix. It's strong on the cherry, but it has a mix of strawberry in it that really, I think that kind of, I don't want to say rounds it out again because I already used that term already, but it does. It kind of rounds out the fruit flavors in here. Red fruits. Definitely. Red fruits here. I think it said something about raspberry or something. I'm not tasting any of that. Did it say that? Yeah, raspberry. It said raspberry. I'm not really tasting raspberry right now. Maybe once it opens up. But the cherry and the strawberry I'm getting. Mostly the cherry. Pretty decent wine. And, you know, it seems like the tannins are a little bit softer than the very beginning. You know, and it has a fairly light finish, but it's nice. I like it. And so far, I like this wine. It's a far cry from the wine that we had a few weeks ago that was just woof. I gave that one 1 star. I could have given it no stars, but I had to give it something. I don't know. I was not that other wine we had a couple weeks ago. I don't even remember what it was now. It was not. It was memorable for not being very good. Yes, for a memorable wine, I really forgot about it real quick. Okay, let's check the chats again and see how things are going. And folks watching on all the venues, just chime in and say hi and tell me how you're doing. And my lovely wife, Chi, is one of those people that are doing it right now. She's on YouTube. She says hi, and hi right back at you. Oh, I almost forgot, didn't I? I forgot to show you what we're going to pair it with tonight. I can't do that. I'm glad you reminded me, Chi. Here's camera 3. This is what we have to pair with the wine tonight. We have, now, you know, we have barbecue quite a bit, and we're going to have barbecue again tonight. And we have some barbecued beef brisket there. This is all from the Q Shack, and some barbecued smoked turkey there. And then we have the Trader Joe's Double Cream Gouda, which we all love here. And, of course, the unexpected cheddar with parm. And what's this over here but a gluten-free chocolate cookie? And there's a reason for that chocolate cookie, besides the fact that my wife said, hey, let's bake some chocolate cookies. But there's a reason for that, and I'll explain it as we go along with the festivities. And what's this in the middle? Oh, wow. What is in the middle here? Okay, from the top down, it looks like, what does it look like from the top down? It looks like some sliced tomatoes, right? Some garnish. Okay, from the top down. But we are looking at it from the wrong angle. To really appreciate it, we need to look at it from another angle. This is what it actually is. Whoops, that's not what it is. This is what it is. This is what it is. Oh, I was going to make this big switch over here, and I kind of messed that up, didn't I? That's what happens on a live show. You just never know what's going to happen next. Okay, but this is what that is. Now, okay, I'm going to switch it back for a second. Look at this. Camera 3. From the top, it just looks like a pile of tomatoes, right? But from the front, it's this. Now, what does that look like to you? I'll tell you what it looks. I'll tell you what it is, but I'll tell you what I thought it was at the very first. I think you'll laugh. My wife didn't appreciate it, I don't think, when I told her what I thought it looked like. I came downstairs and saw it just before the show, and I said, I said, "What? Wow, that looks like a crab. 2 eyes in the top, and it looks like crab legs out in the side. Like folded in the side or whatever, and under sea. No, that is not what it is at all. What does everybody else see? Two swans kissing. There were 2 swans kissing. That's what that is. All right. Let me check the chat one more time here on Twitch. And what are you doing? Stepbro is in the chat on Twitch. What are you doing, Stepbro? That's a long name. Wow. Nothing wrong with that. It's just a long name. What are you doing, Stepbro is in the chat, and how are you doing? It's great to see you here. And what are you doing, Stepbro says, how do you say Pinot Noir? I've seen the word here and there, but I feel like I'm pronouncing it wrong. Pinot Noir. That's pretty much how you pronounce it. Pinot Noir. No, it's Pinot Noir. Noir. Like, think of if you're into films, film noir. Like the old black and white films in the 30s and 40s. Film noir. It's noir. N-O-I-R. Noir. Except it's Pinot Noir. Pretty simple. At least that's how we say it in the States. And What's Up says, have you ever had a wine you liked? Oh, let me get back to camera 1. What's Up says, have you ever had a wine you liked at first but came to dislike as you drank it more? A few, but that comes from, I think usually that happens if I set it in the fridge overnight and then it gets too cold. If you have to keep the wine at a certain temperature. You want to drink the wine if you open up the bottle. You don't want to save it for later, like drink half and save it for later. But if you do that, you kind of want to have it in a lightly chilled, something that's lightly chilled, like a fridge, a wine fridge or something. The problem is that a lot of wine fridges, they store the wines on the sides. So you can't really do that because then the wine leaks out if you've opened the bottle. So I wound up sticking some of it in the refrigerator the next evening, and then it's really cold. And the wine doesn't taste the same when it's cold like that. And you either have to let it warm up closer to room temperature, it just, that doesn't fare too well for the wines. But sometimes that's happened to me. What's up is that I will open a bottle of wine, and as I take it out the next night and drink what's left of it, I'm like, it's not as good as it was the first day. And some of that's because of the cold overnight in the fridge. Some of it is just because, I don't know, the next night the wine isn't as fresh, I should say, when the bottle's open. Once it's been aerated quite a bit more and it's had some time to kind of sit for a while, uncorked. Sometimes it doesn't fare as well. That's why you really want to drink the wine. And I'm not suggesting that you open a bottle of wine and drink it all by yourself, a full bottle. It's not good for you in the long run. But it's good to open a bottle of wine when you have 2 or more people where you can share the bottle with and then finish the bottle that way, and everybody has some wine. And I think that's a healthier way to do it. What are you doing? Stepbro says, I'm not a wine drinker, but that plate alone looks like money, like expensive. It looks expensive. It's not really. My wife prepared it just before the show, and most of it's leftovers except for the. I got to show this again. This is pretty cool. She made this. She made this tonight. And she does these, and I can show you a few more. Those who've been watching the stream for quite a while have seen her creations over the months and years. And she always tries to do something a little bit different, and she tries to one-up herself, which she's done on numerous occasions, one-up herself the next week from the previous week. And I think one of my favorites was, if anybody remembers, a couple of weeks ago, or a few weeks ago now, she did it was National Donut Day, I think, and she did a flatbed truck hauling a donut, a gluten-free donut on the flatbed of the truck, and then the little guy driving was made out of it was made out of an avocado. It was pretty amazing. I've got it up here somewhere. Where is it? See how the stream of consciousness thing works? You just go off on these tangents. This is your show, folks. You make the show. You direct the show. This is where it goes. Now, I've got stuff we can talk about, but something tells me we're going to go off on all kinds of tangents tonight. Let me get the photos back up here. Let me see if I can pull that up. Photos. Here we go. I've got the swans. Those are the swans. Let me pull up the Donut Day. Here we go. The Donut Day. That was the Donut Day. This is what she did for the Donut Day. That little truck hauling that donut was made out of, I think it was made out of cucumber, and the wheels were made out of carrot rounds, and then the little guy in there was made. This still amazes me. I couldn't believe it when I saw what it was made of. I've got to go back to the photos here and change it here. There we go. Little guy was made out of a piece of avocado. That's pretty wild. Never would have expected that. I also liked one of the other things she did with the bird's nest. That was pretty cool. She did one with a bird's nest one week. She made that, and there was some grapes and some other things out in there that she did with a chocolate glaze and everything like that. It was really, really cool stuff. She's amazing. What she does. What she can do is just simply amazing with food presentation. So what are you doing? Stepro says, with beers, all I need is a good chip. Well, yeah, that's all it takes with a good beer and some good dipping sauce. There you go. And you see it? Yeah, you see. It's pretty amazing stuff. Okay, let's get to the pairing portion, and then we can go right into having a lot of fun. By the way, just to remind everybody that I've got everything ready to go for our drinking game in 2 weeks, and we're going to be giving away a lot of prizes and stuff like that. So 2 weeks, we're going to be doing the Drink with Rick drinking game. This is the second annual one that we've done. We've done this a couple of times before. Everybody gets together and they have a great time, and everybody wins. People win prizes on this show. So we're going to be giving away a lot of prizes. I've got some kind of cool stuff to give away that my boss said, hey, why don't you give this away in your show? So he donated some prizes for this year. So it's going to be pretty cool. And I've got some new films to show you in the upcoming weeks. We're going to have some of my Super 8 films that I've had transfer that got back, a new batch of them, and I've got some new films to show you. So we're getting those all prepared and ready to go. All right, so let's go to the. Let me check. Let me check Facebook here just in case I missed anything. And I've got like 5 chats going. 4 technically, 5 you count Twitter. I don't know what Twitter is its own thing there. So I can't always see those right away. All right, so let's get to the pairing. Camera 3 is up. On camera 3, let me go right to the meat here because it's all getting cold. This is the beef brisket, courtesy. Well, it's not courtesy. We had to pay for it. Of Q Shack in Charlotte, North Carolina. Here's, I don't know which hand to use. Use this. And the brisket is good tonight. A little on the dry side, actually. The brisket, it's kind of hit and miss with Q-Shack. Sometimes the brisket is really, really tender, and other times it's kind of on the dry side. Tonight's was kind of dry. It's still pretty good. A little dry. But good. Not bad. The smokiness, because I did mention that there's a slight hint of oakiness in this wine. Not a lot, just a little bit. But it works pretty well with the smokiness of the smoked beef brisket. Beef brisket. I haven't had enough of this yet, and it's only 13% ABV. Party's just started. Look at that. Okay, let me clear the palate, and then we will get to camera 3. Clear the palate again. And let's go back to camera 3 and try it with this is the smoked turkey. Smoked turkey. So I'm going to try it with the smoked turkey this time. The turkey's also a little on the dry side. And not as smoky as it's been in the past. It's okay. Not fantastic, but okay. Okay, now with the turkey, I would have expected this to go really well with the turkey. Because a good Pinot Noir and a good smoked turkey, especially like around Thanksgiving, Chardonnay, we had a Chardonnay last week when we were doing it with the Thanksgiving special. And those of you who missed the Thanksgiving special, we had a nice buttery Chardonnay, and it was really, really, really good. I was really impressed with the Chardonnay. I was surprised, because I'm not really a white wine person, but I really liked it Chardonnay. And it went really well with the smoked turkey that we had from Honey Baked Ham. So I was very impressed with it. The Pinots can go okay with a smoked turkey too. This one, not so much. I think it's really more on the turkey side than on the wine side, because the wine's pretty good. I like the wine. Not the turkey. I don't know. Post Thanksgiving turkey at Q-Shack probably I don't know. That had a little bit of a miss on the turkey tonight. Whoops. Well, we're gonna clear the palate. I'll pick that up later if I remember to do it before I step on it. It's like stepping on a Lego, It's never fun. All right, let's go back to camera 3 for a moment. Let's try it with the unexpected cheddar with parm. This should be good. Try it with the unexpected cheddar with parm. Has Parmesan cheese. It's also from Trader Joe's. Great cheese, by the way. Oh, wow. I like that. Nice pairing. Adds a little bit of sweetness to the cheese. The cherry kind of jumps right in. And, wow. Yeah, I like it. It's a good pairing. I like that. Goes well with the cheese. So I think this would go pretty well with anything with cheddar or with parm. That's a white cheddar with Parmesan cheese in it. That cheese, by the way. But the wine, the Pinot, would go pretty well if you had some spaghetti with a lot of Parmesan. And I love a lot of Parmesan cheese. And I'm one of those guys, you go to the restaurant and say, hey, you want some cheese? And go, yeah. And just say when. And I just sit there and go, okay, just say when. And when. I'm running out of cheese here. Okay, when. They love me over there. Okay, my daughter's the same way. CM Cinder, she loves Parmesan. But she likes to eat it. She likes to, cut off the ends and eat it just as a block. Okay, the palate has been cleared. Let's go back to camera 3 one more time, and let's try it with a Trader Joe's double cream Gouda. And of course, as you well know, I have never had a miss with this pairing. Trader Joe's, and sometimes the Gouda has saved a wine or two that was not so great. Oh yeah. Oh, I like that. And it's creamy, nice and creamy. Adds a little more creaminess to it, to the wine. Good pairing. I like that. I like that. We'll try it again. We'll try it later with the cookie when it comes time for that. But for now, let's go have some fun. Right? Yeah, like that wasn't fun. Well, it was fun for me. And my good friend Ed has arrived on Facebook, and Ed says, Ed just arrived, and I'm glad you're here, Ed. How has your week gone? I hope you're doing well. Hope things are going fine with you down your way. And you had a great Thanksgiving. Everything was good. And in Twitch, and let's see. Okay, we're all caught up now, I think, at the moment, for the moment, right? There we go. We're all caught up. So let's go have some fun. That's a good idea. All right, what's next on the agenda? Oh yes, national days. We're gonna toast some national days. Before I get to that, though, there is one shout out I want to give. Well, maybe I'll save it for after the national days. Let's do the national days first. And I'll give that shout out because it runs into something else we're going to talk about. All right, national days. I'm going to cue the national days. Here we go. Cue the wine bottles, the wine wave, and let's toast some national days. Who doesn't have a glass? Go get a glass. Get something to drink. It doesn't have to be wine. You know, it doesn't have to be wine. It just says drink with Rick. It doesn't say drink wine with Rick. It's just drink with Rick. You drink whatever you want. It's all good. Drink them if you got them. Just it could be wine, beer, tequila, rum and Coke, gin and vermouth, whatever you want to drink, Mad Dog, whatever you got. And well, I hope you have a little more than Mad Dog, but. It's okay. It doesn't matter. I am not judgmental. There's no judgment here. You drink whatever you want, as long as it's legal to drink for you. Drink it. Water is fine too. I have my water right here. So that's good. It's all good. But let's raise our glasses together and toast the national days. Now, the first national day we have here on the list, and this is courtesy of nationaldaycalendar.com. Nationaldaycalendar.com is where I get my national days from, where most people get their national days from. It is the CEO of nationaldaycalendar.com, Marlo Anderson, has really curated all these national days, put them all in one handy place, and he has the new 2023 calendars coming up soon, and I do plan to give at least one of those away on an upcoming stream here, so maybe one or two, we'll see. Anyway, December 3rd, which is we got an hour and 2 minutes for December 3rd, so let's get to the toasting, right? Shall we? It's National Roof Over Your Head Day. Yes, it's National Roof Over Your Head Day. I am thankful for a roof over my head. I am upstairs in my studio here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Our studios, this is Studio A, next to me is Studio B, and then Tom Antio's area, his room is Studio C, where he does this Cube Command podcast and streaming. Anyway, so this is a roof over my head. I am really thankful for that. I am thankful for that every single day. Here's to National Roof Over Your Head Day. I'll drink to that. It's also National Play Outside Day. First Saturday of every month is National Play Outside Day. And this is, of course, assuming that it's a good day to play outside. Today, in our area, in Charlotte, some places it was a good day to play outside. In our area, in Charlotte, it was not a good day to play outside, at least not during the first half of the day, because it rained. It was pretty rainy. It looked pretty glum outside. It cleared up towards the afternoon, but it was kind of glum out there earlier in the day. Today was more of a National Stay Indoors and Read or Watch TV, you take a nap day. That to me, that's what it was. It was basically what I did. To me, every Saturday is a stay indoors and watch TV. And, well, actually, stay indoors and take a nap. Kind of Saturday. It's a good day to take a nap. It really is. All right. Here's to National Play Outside Day. Well, slurped on that one. Okay. December 3rd is also National Skywarn Recognition Day. That's the first Saturday in December, National Skywarn Recognition Day. And if you don't know what that's all about, I will explain it to you very quickly. I'll try to explain it more quickly than I did last year, or in the last few years when we've also toasted it. And it's kind of a big day for people like me. I'm a Skywarn spotter. And for those who are not familiar with Skywarn it's a system. It's a spotter system where folks go out. Regular folks like you and me are trained to go out and spot the weather. Yes, you spot the weather, and then we report it, and then we send in reports to the main office there, and that's where a lot of newscasters, weathercasters get their weather reports from. If you're ever watching the weather on the news, or if you're ever listening to the weather reports on the radio, you'll often hear them says, yeah, we got our spotters down in this area reporting quarter-size hail, and we got our spotters in this area reporting some lightning strikes and things like that. That's where they're getting the information from. They're getting the information from the Skywarn spotters. There are tens of thousands of them across the country. They are volunteers. A lot of them are ham radio operators. Not all of them, but a lot of them are. It's not uncommon for a lot of hams, like myself, to act as Skywarn spotters, and then we report. We take our radios and we report in over the radio and give a report on what the weather conditions are. So that's what Skywarn Recognition Day is, to recognize the Skywarn spotter system. I happen to have right here, because I anticipated, my official certificate of achievement. Oh, let me get a close-up of that. Oh, yeah. The vanity I have. Okay, yeah, it's not much. It's not a big deal, but it's certificate. Yeah, I am officially recognized as part of the Skywarn system. So that's what that's all about. Anyway, because I'm a Skywarn spotter and a ham radio operator, in that order, here is to National Skywarn Recognition Day. The Skywarn Recognition Day. I'll drink to that. By the way, I'm not the only one in my family who has taken Skywarn training. Both my daughter Tia and my son Tommy, who is also a ham radio operator, they've all taken the training. They're all Skywarn spotters. Okay, and let's see, what else we got here? Oh, yes, December 4th. Okay, this is where we get into the good stuff, right? Let me check the chats one more time before I get into more of that. Okay, the chat stopped there on Twitch there for a minute. All right, I hope your week is going well, Ed, by the way, or your weekend, I should say. The week is over. Mine was very busy. Very busy, doing a lot of promotional stuff by Two-Way Radios. Tommy and I both doing a lot of promotional stuff for our current promotions. I won't go into that now, but it's been a busy week. And the wine is welcomed for the weekend. Trust me, it's very, very much welcomed. All right, so what else we have? Oh yes, one more national day. Oh no, tomorrow. Tomorrow's National Days, because it's going to be tomorrow. Well, tomorrow never comes, but it's going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be today in 56 minutes. So let's go ahead and toast the National Days for December 4th, 2022. National Dice Day. Yes, it's National Dice Day. We use dice in a lot of things, right? Monopoly games, Candyland games. We use dice for... we use dice at the roulette table. You know, we use dice in a lot of places, right? So anyway, here's to National Dice Day. I'll drink to that. Today is also National Sock Day. Yes, it is National Sock Day. And in honor of National Sock Day, I'm wearing socks. There we go. Well, there's one on that foot. That almost hurt. Okay, well, I'm not doing that again. Just dumped some equipment on the floor. All right. National Sock Day. Okay. I'll drink to that. National Sock Day. Okay. This show's going downhill fast, isn't it? All right, and we have one more national day today. Today is, everybody ready? Who has cookies in your house? Or wherever you are, your apartment or whatever. Who has cookies in your home? Get them out now, because December 4th is National Cookie Day. That's right, National Cookie Day. Yes, it is National Cookie Day. Who knew? In honor of National Cookie Day, because I did give my wife a heads up before the show that it was going to be National Cookie Day. So in honor of National Cookie Day, my wife made cookies. And we're going to try one right now. As we know, there are a lot of desserts that go pretty well with wines. And just to let you know that, in case you're wondering, that you were unaware of this, wine and cookies go really well together. They do, for the most part. And what are you doing, Step Row? Yes, beer and chips are great together. Wine goes pretty well with a lot of desserts. Cookies are one of them. So I have here a gluten-free, or what's left of, a gluten-free chocolate cookie. This is pretty cool. I like that. There's chocolate in there. So I'm going to try a little bit of this gluten-free. I'm not going to eat that piece. Who knows where this table's been. Wow. This is a good cookie. I'm going to have to eat part of it by itself. Good cookie. Now I'm losing a lot of it though. Great cookie. And it's gluten-free. Whoa. Yeah. Two great tastes that go great together. This wine and this chocolate cookie. Wow. I like that. Let's try that again. Take two. More cookie. And more wine. Very good. Oh yeah, I like that. Very much. Very good. Oh, great. All right. So, let's toast National Cookie Day. I will drink to that. I'll drink a lot to that. And with that being said, I guess that does it for the national days. Once again, this is what we're drinking. We're drinking the Oko, and it's not, what are you doing in Step Row? It's, I know it looks like it says Oko, but it's actually pronounced, this is German. It's pronounced Oko, or so I have been told. It's a wine made with organic grapes. Now, I do have another toast to do, but I do want to talk about organic grapes for just a minute, because just before the show started, I received a a comment or question from my friend. This is not the item here. Where is it? Oh, it's up here. I received a comment which was actually a question from my friend Nancy. And Nancy wanted to know, this is about tonight's wine. She was commenting on tonight's wine made with organic grapes. And she wanted to know, how do you feel about the vineyards that use Monsanto? Any difference in taste? That's from Nancy. And that's a very good question. I told her that's a very good question, Nancy. I'm going to address it on the show tonight, and I'm going to do that now, because here's a thing, and this is a little more on a serious subject. That's why I'm taking a break before I go toasting more fun stuff. On a serious subject, because I think it's something that really needs to be addressed. The elefante in the room, so to speak. So, for those of you who are not familiar or what she's asking here, Monsanto is a company that has long been involved with farming and crops and mostly things like developing different hybrid seeds and seedless stuff and a lot of different things. But they've also been involved with pesticides, insecticides, herbicides, and things like that to help farmers, or actually to make money off of farmers, but we're not going there. So Monsanto's been around for a long, long time. You know, when I first heard about Monsanto was actually when I was working at Walt Disney World back in the late 70s, early 80s. And I remember going to the when Epcot was built. After Epcot was built, Monsanto was one of the sponsors of the of one of the pavilions there in that was one that had the dinosaurs and everything, I think. That was in the I can't remember which pavilion it was right offhand, but I remember they did this whole big promotional thing for Monsanto in the very beginning. And I was saying, wow, who's Monsanto? And then I was a young kid there. I was a young, naive kid. I didn't know who Monsanto was. And I did a little research on it, wanting to know, and found out, oh, okay, so they have a lot to do with agriculture and then developing things for agriculture. Monsanto, one of the things that Monsanto did in the early on was they were developing things like herbicides and pesticides instead to kind of help farmers. Now, this gets into Nancy's question. How do you feel about the vineyards that use Monsanto? Any difference in taste? Now, I know exactly what she's referring to. You could be referring to the seeds or the various things they've done with plants and grafting and things like that, seeds and developing certain things with new crops and things like that. But they've done a lot of things with the herbicides I just mentioned and the pesticides. And she's really coming from the aspect of the latter item. Now, here's the thing. Where do I begin with this? Okay. There is a certain herbicide that is used by a lot of vineyards, still used by a lot of vineyards, and it's been growing for a long, I mean, pardon the pun, but it's been, this use has been growing exponentially for decades. And they rely on it a lot to basically, to kill the weeds, to keep the weeds at bay. And one of this particular herbicide is called glyphosate. That's what's known as glyphosate. Now, glyphosate is a particular herbicide that was developed by Monsanto, and I think is more commonly known by its trade name, its brand name these days, as Roundup. Yes, that same Roundup, the weed killer, the one that you'll see the. If you watch TV much, you'll see those ads, those long 2-minute ads talking about, well, if you or a family member has been exposed to a Roundup, the weed killer, and developed some kind of cancer or whatever, call this number. It's basically, get an attorney on the line, see if we can sue Monsanto. That's what that's all about. Roundup, the glyphosate is also known as Roundup is the trade name that Monsanto uses now. But Monsanto developed this product, but in 2000 the patent expired. So Monsanto doesn't really, they make about half of what's out there now. Since the patent expired, other manufacturers have jumped in. So there are a lot of other manufacturers that are making this glyphosate, and about half of it's sold by Monsanto, and the other half sold by all these other manufacturers collectively. It's used extensively in agriculture as a weed killer. And of course, until just recently, I think it was used a lot for non-commercial use, for landscapers and whatever. But I think that's scaled back quite a bit, because what happened was that the World Health Organization labeled it as carcinogenic. So that's why you see all these ads on TV, saying, hey, go get a lawyer if you've been exposed to Roundup and you have mesothelioma or something like that. So scientists, according to the experts, they're saying that the levels used are really not high enough to really be a risk to human health, particularly by the vineyards. But that is in debate. This weed killer is used in California, and it's I think California has I don't know if they banned it or not, but it's they've been using it for like 40 years, 50 years, for decades. So it's saturated in the ground, and it stays there. It doesn't go away. It stays there in the ground. So a lot of vineyards in California have used this weed killer and this glyphosate, and it's permeated, and gets into, of course it's going to get into the food. It's going to get into the grapes in some way. According to the experts, not enough to really cause any harm, but come on, what do the experts really know? So that's in debate. Now, here's the thing, though. Here's where it gets interesting. We know that California's used it extensively in the past, the vineyards in California. We know that other vineyards have used them. In the United States, it's used heavily in the United States, or has been. It's not just the U.S. You think that if you go out and you buy, a wine that's made in France or New Zealand or anywhere else in Europe, Germany or whatever, Italy, that sort of thing, that it's going to be automatically free from this, and that's not the case at all. The truth is that this Roundup or the glyphosate, as it is used extensively all around the world by vineyards all around the world. Now, not every vineyard uses it. Okay, just want to make that clear. There's some vineyards that don't. And this is one of the reasons for organic, where it says organic grapes there. That's one of the reasons. Or it says organic grapes. If the grapes are grown organically, then allegedly or ostensibly, that means that they are not using any weed killers. They're not using any chemicals on their plants to fight off weeds or to fight off any bugs or anything like that, that these are organically grown and naturally grown, which is a good thing, but it kind of cuts the production levels down a little bit. They found that the production increases, the yield increases when they're using all of these chemicals to basically keep the the bugs in the weeds at bay. So, they're used in vineyards all over the world. They're used in French vineyards. And France, in particular, is one of those countries where they've used it quite a lot. And like I said, this is something that's been used for like half a century. So, not too long ago, President Macron and the French president called on vineyards to stop using it. Just say, hey, let's just stop using it. Let's go more organic and let's get it out of there. So it looks like the French are taking this seriously now, and a lot of them are getting rid of it. This right here, supposedly, it's not grown with the herbicides or pesticides or anything like that, allegedly. So that's what I'm going with. But to answer your original question, Nancy, how I feel about, no, it's a two-part question. It says, how do I feel about the vineyards that use Monsanto? I think I've already pretty much stated how I feel about that. I don't think it's right. I don't like the idea. I've had 3 family members that have passed away from cancer. I don't want to be next. I don't want anyone else to pass away from cancer, and I like to be wary of things that are carcinogenic. I've been aware of this, actually, this sort of thing, and when I think the first organic wine that we tried, that we opened up here and that I reviewed, was one from Fitvine, which was, I believe, an organic wine. And I did that, and I think it was early in season 2 of Drink with Rick. And I said then that I really wanted to explore that a lot more, and I did more research on it. And yes, it's something that I don't think about every time I open a bottle of wine. It's not on the top of my mind, it's okay, are they using, these potential carcinogens in the wines? I don't think about it every time I open a bottle, but it is on my mind sometimes, and it is something that I do think about from time to time. So yeah, I'm not comfortable with it, of course. Any difference in taste? That's the second question she asked. Any difference in taste? Not really. Because, first of all, in order to notice a big difference in taste, you'd have to, like if they've been using it for 40 years, how am I going to know? How am I going to know that? I mean, if it tastes the same every year from year to year, and they've been using the glyphosate for 40 years, I'm not. You're not really going to tell, so to speak. The other thing is any difference in taste from those that are not using the glyphosate. I wouldn't know unless I actually, the only way to tell really is to taste some Roundup and see what it tastes like. I'm not going to do that, of course. Now, and it sounds like I'm making light of this, Nancy, but to be honest, I'm not. It's a very, very, I know it's a very, very serious question, and it's a very, very serious answer. No, right off the bat, I'd be surprised if there are any real sommeliers out there who with really trained tongue. Now, I don't have a trained tongue, a trained palate for this sort of thing. I'm just an everyman that likes to drink wine, like 99.9% of all of us out there. That's why I do that. I'm not approaching this from the point of view of a sommelier. I'm just approaching it from the point of view of just a regular person. But I don't think that there are. I would be surprised if there are any sommeliers out there that can really say, "Oh, yeah, this is, these grapes were grown with glyphosate in it." I don't know. I think that it would be. I doubt it. Let me just say that I don't think that's the case. I can't tell a difference in taste between something that's using glyphosate or pesticides in it, the wine myself, from any other wine. Now, is there a difference in taste between an organically grown grape and one that's not organically grown? Yeah, you can kind of taste the difference sometimes. But once again, there's so this is where we get into the weeds here a little bit. There's so much nuance. There's so many different variables that go into making a wine. They go into growing a grape. There's so many different types of grapes out there, so many different nuances to it, that it's really hard to tell anyway, because you're tasting all, even from one year to the next, like from this 2019 or 2021 I should say to 2019 or something like that, unless they made some differences in the blends, or say like the year that the grape was growing, like maybe it was unusually dry that year or very wet, or something else changed with the grape itself. You can tell those apart, but little things like with whether or not it's using a pesticide or not, it's very difficult to really tell, at least for most people. So, and then that brings up the question. Would I recommend just going out and getting in wine? That's one reason why I've been shopping at Trader Joe's now. Now, nothing against, if you notice, the first year I was shopping a lot at Wine Store and Total Wine, and I still shop there. I still go to the wine store, go to Total Wine, but you've noticed that more and more I've been shopping at Trader Joe's, and there's a reason for that. Aside from it's not always the price or anything like that, but I've been shopping there more because I've been a little more health conscious in that regards as to what's going into my foods. We've all been shopping in this household. She's been shopping more at Trader Joe's for that reason as well, trying to find healthier foods. And the wines in Trader Joe's, allegedly, I don't know how deep they go as far as vetting these wines, but I know that they do make a good, there's a good faith effort to do so. So that's why I've been shopping there more and more, because I think, the probability, I can't say there isn't any glyphosate or in any of these wines, or added tannin, added phosphates or anything like that. But at least it's a kind of a step in the right direction. At least when I walk into Trader Joe's and they're trying something, and I have a little more confidence that I'm going to get something of pretty decent quality there most of the time. So I hope that answers your question, Nancy. I hope it does. Let me go back to the rest of the chats here, because I don't want to neglect anybody in the chats. I know it was a long question to answer. Ed says, I dice onions. It goes to the dice. Very good, Ed. Here's to Ed, by the way. I'm toasting him just because I can. And thank you, Ed. Appreciate it. Denise is in the chat on YouTube, and I didn't mean to ignore you at all, Denise. And Denise is in the chat, and it's been a while. I know I've seen you in the chat before, and it's been a while, but it's great to see you tonight. Denise says, "Did you try the 2022 Beaujolais Nouveau?" It's kind of hard to see. There we go. Yeah, Beaujolais Nouveau. It is delicious. The Beaujolais Nouveau, I've heard it. I have not. Let me write this down. Nouveau. Okay. Denise says, "You're right. It's not funny. Why not use some hair gel to smooth out your sides?" Yeah. I appreciate that. Did you try the 2022 Beaujolais Nouveau? It is delicious. Well, I'm going to take you up on that offer. I'm going to see if I can find some and try it out. I'm not always 100%. I try to go out when everyone makes recommendations. I try to go out and find. There have been a few that I have not found that I'm still looking for, but because in the area, it depends on what area you're in as to what's available. And I'm not going to go into the weeds, too far in the weeds tonight on that, but there are regions. There are regions for distributors. this country is divided up into distributorship regions. Let me put it that way, simply. So you got certain distributors that can sell wines in certain areas that they can't sell wine in certain other areas, and they don't offer it in certain areas. So there are some wines, depending on what area you're in, I may or may not be able to easily obtain just because it may not be easily available in my area. But I will endeavor to see if I can the hair gel to smooth out your sides. Yeah, that's a good suggestion. Actually, I need a haircut. And my sides are a little bit on the rough now. Thank you. Chi cuts my hair, by the way. She's the only one I let cut my hair, but it's been a little while and it's starting to grow out a bit more. Not that I'm really vain about it. Denise says, I do like you. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you, Denise. Now, let me see what we've got here going on Facebook. And Ed still dices onions. All right. There's something else I wanted to mention. We have a toast. We have another toast. Okay, all right. The other day I got word that a good friend of mine started a new job. I wanted to give him a shout out real quick. Let me pull up the fireworks. Time for the fireworks, actually. We haven't done the fireworks in a while. I used to do shout outs for birthdays and such, and I'll still do that if anybody's in the chat with a birthday coming up or something. I don't. It was one of those suggestions from viewers that said, the birthdays tend to kind of take things, take things a little bit longer than they should. Not everybody knows everybody having their birthday. But I do want to give a shout out to my good friend Rob Greenlee, who is one of the OG podcasters out there, who's been in the business for a long, long time, and a friend of mine. And Rob previously worked as the vice president of, what was his official title? Let me see. It was Vice President of Content and Partnerships. That's what it was. He was Vice President of Content and Partnerships at Libsyn, which is one of the big podcast hosting companies out there, along with companies like Blueberry.com. That's Todd Cochran's company. Anyway, so Rob was formerly VP of Content and Partnerships at Libsyn. He is now, as of this past week, the Senior Vice President of Content and Partnerships at Podbean. So Rob has officially moved to Podbean, and he's taken up a position there. So I want to say, Rob, by the way, Podbean has been around for a long time. Libsyn, Blueberry, Podbean, these are all they're old, established hosting companies, long established. I think Podbean's been around since 2006, I think. About as long as I've been podcasting. So to Rob, congratulations. I want to say congratulations to my friend Rob Greenlee for his new position as Senior Vice President of Content and Partnerships at Podbean. Here's to you, Rob. And I'll toast you again, just because I can. To Rob. Congratulations. I wanted to make sure I got that in there. I didn't want to forget Rob on that one. That's very cool. All right, speaking of podcasting, there's one thing I want to mention, because I did put this in the show notes and I was going to do this. I received an email from Lewis. Here's an email from Lewis. This should be entertaining. Okay, as you know, I'm a longtime podcaster. And I received an email from Lewis to me. And the subject is fund 100% of your podcast with OPM. That means other people's money. Okay? Fund 100% of your podcast with other people's money. Wow. Okay, I can use other people's money to start up a podcast. So he says, this is from Lewis, who apparently knows me better than I know myself. Or not. I got to read this. I started laughing when I read it. Rick, I know you're interested in launching or growing your podcast at some point. But maybe you couldn't join due to timing or funds. Well, I have some great news. I can hardly wait to hear this. We just added a brand new service called third-party funding, which allows for flexible monthly payments for you so you can get started and pay significantly less than ever before. Instead, and this is in parentheses, instead of paying $2,000 or $3,000 per month, you could be paying $500 to $700 a month and get the same service. In parentheses. That had me a little shocked there. So instead of paying $2,000 or $3,000 per month to start a podcast, I could be paying $500 to $700 a month and get the same service. He continues. We found a lot of people wanted to launch or invest in their podcast, but just didn't have the funds to do so at the moment. Well, goodness, if they're thinking they're going to have to spend $2,000 to $3,000 per month to start a podcast, I could imagine that they would hesitate. So we've added this service to make investing in your podcast way far more affordable. No, it's not far more affordable. It's way far more affordable. Here's a few other perks. So the far more affordable, I guess, was the first perk. Okay. Here's a few other perks. Low affordable monthly payments can be, this is in parentheses too, can be as low as $500 to $700 a month or less, in parentheses. Could be $500 to $700, going up, or less. No prepayment penalty, can pay off at any time. Well, I'll tell you what, if it costs me $700 a month, it costs me $2,000 to $3,000 per month, how am I going to be paying this off anytime soon? Okay, first payment not due for 30 days. Soft pull to apply, meaning your credit score won't be affected by applying. Oh, that's good to know. As far as the rates, it will vary depending on your credit. Okay, and you'll have the opportunity to review the best offers with a funding specialist and address any questions before making a decision. That's from Lewis. And it's the cool part is they do fund up to 100% of the program amount. After you're done, you'll get the results within a few business hours. Then you can speak to a funding specialist to over the best offer. And then there's some other stuff here about, well, if I have a spouse or a loved one, can they co-sign? And they say, well, you don't have to co-sign. You just have your spouse or loved one apply for funding too. And that's from Lewis. Okay, first of all, a couple of things here. I know a lot of my friends are fellow podcasters, and some folks who are watching or listening later are also podcasters or aspiring podcasters. I've received a lot of questions from people asking about starting a podcast. I've helped other people before start a podcast, I didn't charge them anything to do it. They're just some friends, various friends or whatever that say, hey, we're thinking about starting a podcast. Can you give us a hand? And I said, sure. And I just do it. And I don't charge for any of that. Okay. Now, if you're thinking about starting a podcast, this is my public service announcement for the week. Okay. This is this. If you think about starting a podcast, do not let something like this prevent you from doing that, okay? I can tell you right now that it does not cost $2,000 to $7,000 a month to start a podcast. Anybody can start a podcast. You know how I started my podcast? I started my podcast when I did this in 2006. I went out and got an $80 microphone, pretty decent quality microphone for $80, and actually pretty good quality mic, and I still have it. Still works just fine. I had a used computer. It wasn't even a new one. I just refurbished a used one. I downloaded some free tools, some free editing tools to record and edit the podcast with. And I got a hosting service. And the hosting service, like for instance, Libsyn or Blueberry or Podbean, $5 to $10 a month for hosting, that's on average. Not a big deal if you're going to be doing a podcast. There are free hosting services available as well. I'm not going to mention those in part because I've been burned on free hosting before. That's something you do at your own risk, and I don't recommend free hosting services, but you can do it in a pinch, at least to get started. You can do a free hosting service. There's really not that much more to it than that, really. Most of it's up to you and the content that you produce. That's really all it is. I started my podcast with less than a $200 investment. Honestly, it cost me less than $200 to get started. Anyone who comes up to you and says, first of all, you never want to finance a podcast, okay? That's insane. Do not finance doing a podcast. If you're interested in podcasting, go out and get yourself just a decent, quality mic that's like $50, $60, like a Samsung or something, and get a most people already have a computer or a laptop. Just get a computer and a laptop. You got one most of the time. People have them, so it's not a big deal. Just use what you got. Download some free tools. Audacity's a great tool for getting started with. It's been around for ages. That's what I started with, and they've really fine-tuned that app. And there are others out there. There are others that you can use. Audacity is free, and you can record and edit to your heart's delight with that. And the hosting service is going to be the most, $5-10 a month, as I mentioned already. Other than that, there's really not much more to it. You just produce the content. You're the talent. You provide you deliver the podcast. You get on the mic, the microphone, and deliver it. Now there are consultants out there, and that's basically what they're doing. Is they're financing their consulting service. I've done some research on this on this guy. And nothing disparaging against him because he's trying to run a business, a consulting business. But my take on consultants, according to this guy, he's been podcasting since 2016. My son's been podcasting a lot longer than that. And not disparaging him to any degree. It's just that if you're starting off and you're interested in starting a podcast, my advice is don't go that route. Don't spend $2,000 to $3,000 to try to get a consultant to hire a consultant to help you out with podcasting, especially if you're not 100% sure that's what you're going to do, because you might go, that most podcasts out there, they don't make it to 10 episodes. A lot of them don't make it to 5. So they start. A new person will get into podcasting, they'll start podcasting, and then after about 4 or 5 episodes, they realize, maybe this really isn't for me, and then they'll stop. You definitely don't want to get in debt for that. Absolutely not. So my public service announcement for today is don't finance a podcast. Never do that. Start simply, start ugly, as Chris Grimitzos would say, and just move up. What I have here today, I've been podcasting for well over 16 years. This is a result of a long-term commitment to podcasting. I've been doing this for a long time, so I've built this up over time. You don't go out there and put together a huge studio for your very first podcast. You don't really want to do that. Like I said, it comes over time. Over time, you stick with it, and you will develop the skills that you need, and you will build your tool set, and so to speak, and you will upgrade and do more and more as you get into it, and then you will have something like this, and probably better. That it comes over time. It's not something that you just jump into overnight and say, well, I'm going to spend $10,000 and build myself a podcast studio. It is not the way to do it. Not the way to do it. Please don't do that. And if you're looking for a consultant, if you need some help, there are people out there that are very, very good at what they do. And yeah, they are going to charge you some money, but they're also going to give you a lot of free advice too. I would recommend right off the bat. I would recommend Dave Jackson. Dave Jackson, School of Podcasting. Great source. He's been doing it for a long time. He's been podcasting for as long, or if not longer. He's been podcasting longer than I have. Other people out there like Daniel J. Lewis and some other people out there that do consulting and stuff. These are all guys that I can recommend that definitely know their stuff. So I would say if you're going to go that route, go with them. And they offer a lot of free tools too. You don't have to hire them to be a consultant. You can, but you don't have to, because they're willing to help you. So the thing is, don't just jump into it. If you're thinking about podcasting, getting into that, getting into live streaming and stuff like this, I didn't even start live streaming until I started doing this show in 2019. So it took me a long time to jump into it. People have been saying, hey, you got to do this. But I didn't start doing it until later on, until I felt like I'm really ready to do this. I didn't want to be in front of the camera. I want to be behind it, behind the mic. But now here I am. But it took a while to get there. And I'm still learning. So just take it slow. Don't do this. Don't spend $3,000, and definitely don't go into debt to do that. Okay. Please don't. Okay, so that's what I got there. I know I neglected the chats for a few minutes because I got on my Rick rant for the night. But I felt it was really important to mention that because I know there are folks out there that have done that, and I just want to kind of do my best to help you out in that regard. Forrest Gerbless is in the chat. And Forrest, it's great to see you. Great to see you in the chat. Thanks for being here. He says, hi, I want to offer promotion for your channel. Viewers, followers, views, and chat. The price is lower than your competitor. The quality is guaranteed to be the best. Right. Go to dogehype. Yeah, I'm not reading that. Yeah, that's funny. All right, so what else we got going on here? Okay, and I think that's got everything on the agenda for tonight, right? Funding a podcast. Yeah, I did cover that. Okay, let's do a final review of the wine, shall we? It's going to be that time. Okay, so this is what we've been drinking tonight. Tonight, we've been drinking the Oko wine made with organic grapes, and we covered that earlier. You can go back and listen to the rewind if you want to know more about the whole organic grape thing. This is a Pinot Noir. It's a 2021, 13% ABV in a 750 milliliter bottle of wine. And yes, I have been getting a very healthy dose of cherry and strawberry. Strong on the cherry, and a pretty good mix with the strawberry in it. And once again, I don't know if this is 100% Pinot to be sure. The previous year's vintage had 97% Pinot Noir and 3% Grenache. I don't know about this one, to be honest. But it does taste really good, and I like this wine. It's a little bit oaky. Not much, but a little bit. And the tannins are soft. As they said, the tannins, some of the reviews have said medium tannin. Medium tannin, but very, very soft tannins. It has a short finish that doesn't linger that much. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact it's only 13% alcohol by volume, which I like. Organic, I think organic is the way to go. I really do. And we covered that with the Monsanto discussion earlier. Thank you, Nancy, for your contribution there. But you know what? It did mention one more thing in here. And I'm getting a little spice. Got that at the very beginning. But it did mention one more thing in here, and that is the licorice. I love licorice. And when I opened the bottle, I wasn't tasting any of that. Let's see if that has changed. Just a slight hint of licorice. Very slight, but it's there. Okay. I think it filled all the blanks on that one. That's good. I like this wine. I would buy another bottle of it. $9.99 at Trader Joe's is what I paid for this wine. And we went over the pricing before. You may spend upwards, depending on what area of the country you're in, you may spend upwards of, what did it say it was? 13? No, it was more than that. $23.95 a bottle at Schaefer's in Illinois, Skokie, Illinois. That might have to do with the flat delivery. It says that there's a flat delivery fee of $7. Only ships in Illinois. So maybe that part of that says the delivery fee? I don't know. It doesn't say that, but it does say excluding sales tax. But there's sales tax on top of all of that. That's to be expected. Overall, though, I really like this wine. And Tom Antio's in the chat. And he says, evening, Father. And evening right back at you, Tom Antio. I hope you're having a great evening. My evening is progressing very well, especially with this wine. You might like this wine. It's actually pretty decent. But I do like this wine. It's very, very good. But that's my final review. It went well with everything on this platter, everything on this plate. Oh, well, except I would say except the turkey. The turkey, and I think that's the fault of the turkey, not of the wine. I think the turkey was a little drier. It went well with the beef brisket from the Q Shack, barbecue brisket. The turkey, not so much. I didn't like it so much with the turkey, and I think, once again, I think this is an issue with the turkey. I think the turkey was a little off tonight. That's just my opinion, but I think it was. Went well with the cheeses, with the Trader Joe's double cream Gouda, of course, and with the unexpected cheddar with parm, and the cookie. It went great with the cookie. I really liked it with that chocolate cookie. Very, very good stuff. And of course, one more shot of the tonight's. Tom Antio, did you see this? What my lovely wife Chi prepared tonight? Let me put it back. Let me pull it back up here. That's not it. Here, this is it. It is two swans kissing. Actually, I'm not sure they're kissing. It looks more like they're kind of butting heads. It kind of looks like they're butting heads, but yeah, they could be kissing. Okay, we'll say they're kissing. Let's say they're kissing. Two swans kissing, and see the little heart in the middle. She made a little heart in the middle with the two swans kissing, and wow, and the waves there down below and between them, and all of that. And that's just really, really cool. And to my lovely wife Chi, I'd say she really did a fabulous job on this. She really did, and I want to give her a round of applause, a nice big round of applause for that. And you know what? I think she also did a hole-in-one on that one. She really nailed it.
That's a good one.
Didn't she? Yeah. So that's for my lovely wife Chi. Anyway, Tom Antios, he wants to know, did the wine go good with the roasted nuts? I did not have the nuts. You know what? There are no nuts on my plate, but he is referring to the peanuts, the roasted peanuts. One other thing that she did before the show started is that she made a batch of her roasted peanuts, the garlic and all that kind of stuff, and the salt. Wonderful. The roasted peanuts are just excellent, and they go good with the wine too. They go even better with the beer. You know what? As a matter of fact, what's up? Who was it that was asking me about they like chips and beer? Was it what are you doing, Stepbro? Yes, it was what are you doing, Stepbro? The beer. My wife she roasts these peanuts, the small peanuts, and mixes it with garlic and salt, and it is amazing. I mean, it beats Planters by a country mile. I don't know, is a country mile longer than a regular? I don't know. But anyway, these are awesome, and every time she makes them, the neighbors are all out there saying, wow, make some of your roasted peanuts, because they all love her peanuts. And they're great. And they go good with the wine, but they go great with a good beer. And I like to drink mine with a nice Pilsner, or maybe a dark lager, something like that. And they go great with whatever beer you've got. They're excellent. These peanuts are good. I told her before she needs to start marketing these things. Anyway, so Tom Antio says Swan looks nice. I saw it earlier. Yeah, she did a great job with that. Okay, well, I guess that does it for our show this evening. And I want to thank everybody for being here with me tonight. There is one more celebrity that I want to bring out for you before we close up, and it is none other than, you know who I'm talking about, Roadkill Bill. Here he is, Roadkill Bill, and he gets applause too. Yes, here is Bill with a message for everyone. But before he gives his final message, I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. I want to thank my good friend Ed for being here, as always, in Facebook. I want to thank my lovely wife Chi for being here and for this lovely spread that she prepared for the show. Denise, thank you for being here tonight as well. Thank you for watching. And also, wow, we've got a whole bunch of people on Twitch. Everybody on Twitch who joined me. Kevin, thank you for being here tonight. And hope you're doing well. Josh Wardo, thank you for being here. Hello right back at you. What's up? Thank you also. I really appreciate you being here. And what are you doing, Stepro? Thank you for joining me tonight. Forrest Gerblitz, did I want to say thank you for being here. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Did I miss anybody? No, I don't think so. Thank you for everyone who joined me on Odyssey but did not speak up, and on Twitter, who I could not tweet back to. I could not get the notifications on for Twitter. Thank you for watching, for as long as you are watching. Anyway, so I want to thank each and every one of you, because you mean a lot to me, and I do appreciate you. Thank you very much. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to do that. I don't hold people to that, okay? And I've talked about that many times. If you like it, you're going to like it. If you want to subscribe, you subscribe. If you don't, I'm not going to pressure you into doing anything you don't want to do. it's if you find some value in it, if you find some entertainment value of any sort, hey, I would welcome it, but there's no obligation. But thank you very much if and when you do. Thank you very much. So, time for the message, Bill. Okay. And Bill's message, he is the official mascot. You are the official mascot of the... Oh, man, I almost messed that up, didn't I? That's what happens when you do multiple podcasts and shows. My son, Tom, and I did a live stream earlier, last week for By Two-Way Radios, who we both work for. And I did a podcast, too, and I have to consciously remind myself, okay, this is a podcast by Two-Way Radios. This is the Two-Way Radio Show podcast, and this is Drink with Rick. We're going to keep that separated. Okay. See, I'm open. I'm completely open with everybody here. I flub. It's okay. All right. So, Bill's message. He's the official mascot of Drink with Rick on the Saturday Night Winestream. And his message is, do not drink and drive. Drink in the comfort of your home, your apartment, your hotel room, your dwelling, wherever you are. Do not drink and drive. If you have to go somewhere, call an Uber, call a Lyft, call a cab, call a friend, call a bus, Did I miss anything? Call somebody else to come pick you up. Or just stay put. And that's probably the best thing to do. If you can do that, please just stay put. Think about others as well as yourself, all those around you. Please do not drink and drive. Please don't text and drive, because that's just as dangerous. It's distracted driving. Please don't do that. Because I care about each and every one of you. And I want you to have a great week. But most of all, I want you to have a safe week. So you can join me here again next week on the Saturday Night Winestream, and we can all get together and drink with Rick. Good night.